This is News 8 at 11 a.m.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Eric Connor. We have a lot to get to this hour, including the latest on those stimulus payments some of you are about to receive here. But first, let's check in with Stella Escobedo, standing by with the latest coronavirus developments. Stella?
Good morning to you, Eric. Good morning to you at home. The number of coronavirus cases worldwide has gone up. So here is where we are now at 2 million. Yeah, I do want to point out, though, more than 500,000 people have recovered from the virus globally. Here in the United States, there are more than 613,000 cases, more than 26,000 deaths. In San Diego, the number of cases is also up. There are 1,930 and 53 confirmed deaths. So let's get right now to our top story. Millions of Americans are set to receive stimulus payments today, and if you haven't gotten it yet, don't need to panic. The IRS has launched a tool to help you track it. News 8's Chris Crow joins us live to show us how you can find out where your money is. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Stella. And right now we're hearing from a lot of people that are receiving their amounts, but also from some people that are confused why they don't have it, or they're hearing some myths and misconceptions and they want things cleared up. So let's get right away to exactly how you are going to try to track your payment if you have not received it yet. You're actually going to want to go to the IRS.gov website, and then from there you're going to click on the Economic Impact Statements section of that website. Then you're going to click on Get My Payment. Again, this is for those who have not received their $1,200 or $2,400 payments. And from there, you can access that Get My Payment. And from in there, you can actually go in and enter your personal information. You start off with your social security number, your address, and your date of birth. You'll then be directed to a page that's going to ask for your recent tax filing information, adjusted gross income, and how much you owed, or potentially how much you had refunded to you, if at all. Now, it's important to note that if you owed money, this will not be subtracted from that amount or receive the difference. If you are eligible for that $1,200 or $2,400 payment, you will receive that. And if you are receiving any money as far as a refund, you will not have to have the difference sent to you. This is going to be a straight check that will be sent to you. It is not taxable, and you do not have to owe the difference. So let's get how you find out if you're going to get $1,200 or $2,400. If you are an individual that makes $75,000 or less, you're eligible for a $1,200 or $1,200 payment. If you made less than $150,000 as a married couple, you get $2,400. Plus, there's an additional $500. Again, we cannot stress this enough. The IRS has said this. We've heard this from politicians and local leaders as well. This is not taxable income. You will receive your payment once you go ahead, sign up, enter your direct deposit information, but you could also get it in the mail. And if you choose to get it in the mail, you can also use the Get My Payment app to track where it is and when it's been sent out. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead, put in your information. It'll tell you if you're eligible for the payment in the first place, and if you want to receive it by the mail, you can constantly go back and see when it has been sent out and when you're likely to receive it. Guys, back to you.
Chris, thank you for that. Very helpful. And that brings us to our News 8 poll of the day. Have you received your stimulus check? Yes, no, or you don't qualify. You can vote anytime on our News 8 app or cbs8.com/vote. Looks like the majority of you have not received your money just yet. We will reveal the final results. Well, it looks like, yeah, majority have not, 59% of you have not received it. We're going to reveal the final results at the end of the newscast. Eric?
Yeah, keep weighing in on that poll. Thanks, Stella. The government is making preparations for the time when people are allowed to ease back into society. This comes as President Trump now says he'll make states make that decision. Natalie Brand has more details now from the White House.
Other states. It's going to be very, very close, maybe even before the date of May 1st.
The federal government is working on strategies to reopen the country. The Washington Post obtained a draft proposal of CDC and FEMA guidance for state and local governments. The agencies are recommending that first, there's confidence infection rates are, quote, genuinely low, and the health system has the capacity to handle a new surge of cases, and that there's a well-functioning system to test and trace patients.
They're diagnosed, and then they're isolated, and then their contacts are traced. That's going to be fundamental. This outbreak got beyond containment this time. We need to get it back, so the containment's an important part of our overall strategy.
CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield says some elements of social distancing will remain in place until there are medical developments such as a vaccine. It's state governors who will ultimately decide when to reopen their communities, and the president is expected to speak to the governors this week about their plans.
I will then be authorizing each individual governor of each individual state to implement a reopening.
Tuesday, the president also said he's suspending funding to the World Health Organization while reviewing its response to the pandemic.
It's $830 million plus over the last 2 years, and all we needed was the truth in return.
The United Nations issued a statement saying now is not the time to reduce the resources of any organization fighting the virus. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the decision to suspend World Health Organization funding dangerous and illegal and says it will be swiftly challenged. And a big announcement from the San Diego Unified School District back here at home. The Board of Education has approved hazard pay for some employees. News 8's Netta Ronpour joins us live to explain who exactly qualifies for this here, Netta.
Yeah, we're talking about hazard pay for families, or for employees rather, who are coming into close contact with families, students, and that includes people in the food services and nutrition departments here for San Diego Unified. So we're actually at a meal distribution site. This is Kearney High School, and you can see the families driving up, picking up their lunches and their breakfast for the next day. And they've been doing this at various schools in this district. And a lot of the people you're looking at who are working right now, many of them actually say they are volunteering. They work for the school district in various departments, but most of these people are volunteers. But there's a group of people who work for food and nutrition services who are employees of that, and they will be getting that hazard pay for basically coming into contact with families that leads to the potential exposure of COVID-19, along with security guards and police officers who will be working here.
We have employees who are literally putting their lives on the line to keep others safe. And that includes people who are feeding our students who need access to nutrition services, and our workers who are helping us connect every student to the internet so they're ready for distance learning.
And that was Superintendent Cindy Martin explaining that the hazard pay basically applies to anyone with possible exposure to coronavirus, including those in the food services, custodial services, delivery operators, and police officers at the schools, employees who help to distribute computers, the security guards who are also overseeing that operation, basically anyone who's in contact with any families. The Board of Supervisors voted to approve that hazard pay. It would be time-and-a-half pay, offered retroactive to March 16th to those employees who serve as disaster service workers. They also agreed on grade protection. That means students will not receive grades that are lower than their grades prior to school closures. And of course, as you know, most of these schools will all be doing the official distance learning, the online education, officially starting April 27th. Right now, 40 to 50,000 Chromebooks are being cleaned up, being distributed to many of those families, and they're coming out of some 6,000 classrooms. So there's a group of employees who are doing that work. They're cleaning the laptops and the chargers, the adapters. They also will be included in this hazard pay as well. So a lot of it coming from federal stimulus money. We'll have a lot more on this coming up in the next half hour. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Netta, thanks for that. In other news here, a man is dead following a stabbing in Spring Valley that started as a brawl in the streets. This happened last night on the corner of Grand and Hamishaw at the 7-Eleven. Officers arrived to find several men and women injured outside. They say the fight may have involved sticks or bats and a few knives. Officers are interviewing witnesses and suspects and trying to figure out why this fight broke out. Still ahead here, Senator Elizabeth Warren throws her support behind Joe Biden in an effort to unite the Democratic Party. The message she has for voters. And the death toll from the coronavirus is increasing by the thousands now. How some states, including California, are discussing what it will take to eventually reopen.